It's Monday morning. It's about 20 after 6. So I'm about to go hoop. So this is my 5th week of kind of resting since the shin splint happened. So I think that everything is healed back up. My legs feel good. So hopefully starting this week, I'll be able to actually start getting back into practicing and stuff a little bit more. Start increasing my training load even more. Starting this week, I am going to try to do a little bit more than I have been, and just being a little cautious, making sure that as I increase what I'm doing a little bit, that my legs still feel fine. There's no soreness or anything like that. And my goal is to be back where I was by the end of the year. When I got to the gym, I took some warm-up shots, just shot around a little bit first, no drills or anything. I've been having a tough time shooting the past week or so I was just working on getting some good shots up, as well as working on this cool street ball move. I did get into working on some mid-range stuff. I've been going through this drill recently. I'm trying to improve my mid-range game, as well as just working on some different footwork patterns. So all I was doing here was at the elbow, I would take a couple jab steps, and then like here I was just shooting straight out of those jab steps, but the footwork was a little bit different each time. Sometimes it was a wider stance. That shot right there, I had my feet backwards, so it's weird and awkward and not a shot that I would necessarily intentionally take, but also a shot that definitely happens. And so I'm just trying to get more used to shooting out of these kind of awkward footworks. It did take me several tries to get the backwards footwork shot down. Eventually I did get it, and then I also was taking some shots with my feet very close together, which again isn't necessarily a shot that I would look to take, but over the course of a game things happen. Sometimes you just end up in that situation. So I was just playing around with the different footwork and trying to get more used to it. Once I had 10 makes on the right side, I moved on to the left side and did the same thing. After the 10 makes on the left side, I came back to the right, and this time instead of just shooting after some jab steps, I was adding in a dribble between the legs and then going into a swing step into my shot. I was really trying to focus on either selling a pump fake or a drive first, and then quickly getting into that between the legs dribble, and then the swing step. This is a move that has a ton of different options out of it. For example, I wouldn't even have to shoot it every time. I could go into that swing step and hezi, and then go in for a drive if I wanted to, depending on what the defender gave me. And so in some of my later shots, I was even replicating that by hesitating and actually pump faking after the swing step before going into the shot. I think that this is a great drill for anyone, and is also a very good move that you could build a great bag around. All right, so it's Tuesday at just a little before 11. I was going to record this morning, but I was in a rush and I didn't have time. So I played yesterday for, I guess I was in the gym about 4 hours. I think I was running games, about maybe 3 of them. So after that, came home and worked out all the normal stuff. So my right leg felt fine all day. There was no soreness or anything in my shins. My left leg was a little bit sore, nothing crazy. It's not too bad, and it's definitely getting better. So then this morning I went to the gym for a little bit. Same thing, right leg felt fine. It didn't get sore. Left leg, my left is still a little bit sore. It's improving, and my goal is to be able to, again, get back to how I was about a month ago by the end of the year. I didn't go to the gym this morning, but I have been wanting to try and do some of the ball handling drills that I used to do, things like tennis ball and some heavy ball work. So this morning, that was exactly what I did. I started off with just bouncing the tennis ball and then crossing the ball over and catching the tennis ball with my opposite hand. 10 reps of everything. After that, I would bounce the tennis ball and then cross the ball over twice and then catch the tennis ball again, 10 reps. I did this with both hands. After that, I was going between the legs and catching the tennis ball. All of these drills are great for working on ball speed as well as coordination. I was having some problems, not just with this between the legs, but a couple between the legs drills I did later on where I kept hitting my legs. So I was realizing that I wasn't pushing the ball through quite the right way. So it was really good for me to do this and realize that because that will definitely help me as I get back to playing more. Next, I dribbled the basketball behind the back while catching the tennis ball in front of me. The last thing I did bouncing the tennis ball was I would bounce it and then cross over and go between the legs and then catch the tennis ball. So I did that going between both legs, so right hand and left hand. So after that, I started tossing the tennis ball up and catching it. So I did this while crossing the ball over, going between my legs and behind my back, as well as just taking some regular dribbles and tossing the tennis ball up. Next, I did a 6 dribble combination of an inside out crossover between the legs and then behind the back. So I've never done this before, but my goal was to just try and dribble the ball as quickly as I could while keeping it as low as possible. This isn't how I would normally dribble and isn't how I would dribble in games, and typically wouldn't dribble this way if I was attacking to try and get to the basket. But the way that I was dribbling here, I was using mostly just my fingertips and just tapping the ball. So by doing this, it was forcing me to have better ball control while the ball was low to the ground and moving at the speed that it was. When I finished all of my ball handling, I went on to working my core today. So I don't know exactly how many sit-ups I did, but I did them for 6 minutes straight, and I didn't start counting until it started hurting. And once my stomach started hurting, I did 50 more. After that, I did this pull that's working some of the muscles in my back. I'm trying to be more well-rounded and working all of my muscle groups as well as smaller muscles that maybe typically wouldn't get worked in basketball workouts. And so doing this was helping to hit my back muscles as well as some of the muscles in my side. This was the last exercise that I did, and it's a new one that I've started doing recently. And so it's not actually working my core, but it is working on my stability. So I'm just squeezing the ball with my legs as I'm trying to balance myself, and in doing so is working the muscles on the inside of my thighs, which I've never really worked before. So I filmed this on my second time doing this exercise, and you can't see it super well here, but my legs were definitely shaking. So I was just holding this for a minute, and by the end of the minute, my legs were shaking, and I couldn't walk very well when I got up.